Welcome everyone to Unscripted Coding. Today we're going to use OpenAI's Codex to build another simple sample video game. In this case, we are using OpenAI's Codex, which is similar to Claude Code. It's an agentic coding partner coding tool. And so what that means is you can use plain English language, tell it what you want it to build, and let AI build and iterate and move through a number of steps until it gets to a certain comfort level with the project. Now, Codex has been around for a little bit, but GPT-5 has really made it a lot more attractive than Claude Code. For one, it is cheaper because it comes with the OpenAI Plus or Pro plan. And second of all, GPT-5, although ridiculed a little bit at the start, is turning out to be a pretty good agentic model. Even better is the update right here. GPT-5 came out with a Codex-specific model that is even better at agentic coding tasks. In any case, you'll see a bunch of benchmarks here that you can look at. What I found interesting was that Codex does appear in 3 different versions. And so you have a CLI, command line interface version, similar to Claude Code or some of the other tools that you only have the command line to type in English what you want. It's going to manipulate files on your computer, but you're not really getting an IDE experience. Second of all, you have the IDE extension, which we're going to use today. And what that means is we can pull up my IDE right here, and it's going to show up on the side. That means that as it's programming, as it's coding, you're going to be able to pull up the files, make additions, make changes, and that's the way that I think will seem a lot more natural, at least to me. And so this is a more similar approach to root code or Client or other IDE-based agentic coders. Saying agentic a lot. The very last option you have is cloud agents, and that just means that you can go onto a website right here and just ask it to do things and then log back on later to see what it's done. Everything happens on the cloud. I think that'll be very cool, especially as it gets really good. I can go out for lunch and issue it commands and kind of pay attention to it on my phone. But for now, let's stick with the IDE extensions. Okay, so I have gotten a bit of a bug lately of trying to build random video game concepts here because many of them don't end up that great or all that fun, but it's shockingly easy to try and iterate and build through new ideas. Today, the idea is sliding chess. And so the idea here is I was going to test out Codex, and one of the easy things to do is build me a chess app. And because it's seen so many variants of it, and so many people have built chess applications as homework assignments, as tests, that there are a lot of really good ones out there. But instead, I wanted to put in a twist to it. And so I am just going to copy this and get it to start. Let me just see the options here. If you can see that. We have agent full access, and so that means that it can access the internet. I don't think chess has changed all that much, so I won't need that. But we can also do chat and plan. Different model abilities. Now, if you are using Codex, you have 2 different payment options. The first is if you have a Pro Plus, Enterprise plan, Education plan, any of the non-free plans. I don't currently have one, but I think it sounds like it's quite worthwhile to spend the $20 to do it. Today, I am actually paying with API, and that means that I probably don't want to go for the most expensive option. But for now, I'll use GPT-5 Codex Medium Thought as the default, and I'll try this out. So I have the instructions here. I'll explain it as it runs on the side. Okay, so here's the concept. We have basic chess. We all know how to play it. There's kings, queens, rooks, knights, pawns, whatever. The idea here is that sometimes chess takes a while, and I want to incentivize them to move quicker. And so one of the ways that you can do that is potentially try and slide things around. And I am just going to turn some things off on the side here so that it doesn't lag as much. Okay. One of the ways we can do this is we can alter the landscape, so alter the number of tiles on the playing field. And so here, what I'm suggesting is that every X number of turns, and you'll see down here, further down, let me just make this easier to read, down the line, every 3 turns or 5 turns later, we are going to change the field. And we're going to change a field by adding or removing 5 to 10 tiles. Completely randomized. We're going to add, when it's a start, there's a solid grid. We might have to add it to the edges and expand the map. Alternatively, we might remove tiles anywhere from the edges or within the playing field, so long as there's no piece currently in there. And you can imagine that if a tile is removed, it might block your straight path. So if you have a rook that wants to move straight up, and there is a missing tile, then it cannot go past that missing tile. And so if the randomization doesn't benefit you, sorry, I'm going to close more stuff to make sure that I don't lag as much. Okay. So, we have these shifting tiles, and to incentivize furthermore, the number of tiles are added or removed will be random, but whether they are added or removed will be up to the player. And the player that gets to decide is the player who last captured a piece. And so if I captured a piece a turn ago and nothing else has happened, I get to decide, do I want to remove 6 tiles, let's say, or add them? And you can imagine if I am, in the process of running away and trying to protect my king, I might want to add more tiles to expand the map, give myself more options. Alternatively, if I am trying to capture the king, I might try and remove pieces, limit their places to go. And the same is true if I have more pieces. I might want to move in, limit the options, and keep narrowing it down. It changes the incentives quite a bit because suddenly you have a reason to capture a piece. You will want to, at every 3rd or 5th turn, try and capture a piece and move more quickly, move through the game more quickly. Even though that may not be perfect for your movement, it may not be perfect for your planning, to try and move that along will be helpful. I also think the dynamics of it to keep the game changing will just add more options. We'll see if that works. Now, I gave some very random numbers here. 3 turns, 5 turns. These are just placeholders. Through playtesting, I could potentially determine whether it makes more sense to turn it into every 10 turns, to add 15 tiles instead of 10. Now, the last piece of information here is that every time this switches, the next random number shows up. And so between 5 and 10, it's not random when you make the choice. You know at that time beforehand that there are 10 pieces up for grabs. You want to capture a piece in turn 3 because 10 makes a huge difference, and maybe 5 doesn't make as much a difference. Okay, so I'm going to let this run and stop talking for a bit, and we'll just let it build and see how we go. For this first version, I told it not to worry about AI, and I suspect that AI is not going to be very good here, there's only so much I can, or rather Codex can add into it without some real brains or real programming. But we'll see how this goes. For now, I'm just assuming 2 human players that understand the rules just to make it easier, just to make the first step simpler. Okay, so that was certainly a different experience. We are about a half hour in, and this is just one run. Now, to be fair, it was very detailed, and I also wasted a bunch of time waiting for it to actually seek approval for various things. So, big tip, I think we should be using the full access agent. Otherwise, you'll be shepherding it through. I also think the medium is quite slow, so be prepared to like grab a coffee, eat lunch, because this will take some time. But let's see how this works first. So just opening the HTML file will not work, but I do like the setup here. So I wonder... I think what I'm going to have to do is go into command prompt and run a Python server to actually see how this will work. Okay. 1 second here. Let me find this right here. CD. So changing into the right folder, and I'm going to run Python to get a server. Then let's see. Here we go. See, needed a server. All right, so let's just start with a standard opening. I can see that the correct spots are identified. So nobody has decided. I guess black gets to decide, and we'll remove tiles. Wow, we removed a whole bunch. Okay, 9 tiles. So we'll continue. You can see this pawn can no longer move. Actually, nothing can move. No, it's red's turn. Now here, we can't move forward. That's exactly as intended. This is working really well. So let's move up here. And I'll add tiles. Come up here. This guy will take this piece. This is all accurate so far. We'll move up a bit more. Let's see what happens if we add tiles here. Oh, look at that. That's interesting. That's not how I envisioned it. I thought it would be right around the border, but it's fair enough how they're adding it. Okay, next shift at turn 12. For some reason, this tile is always stuck at 9. But that is all right. We'll capture this piece, move up, and we'll keep adding more tiles. Interesting. So I'm not sure I like this adding function, but we'll capture the queen. This will capture here. I'll move up here. And this will keep going. It has done shockingly well for a one-time push. So I am going to make one more change here. Can you ensure that the added tiles either fill in the missing gaps or are directly adjacent? And I'm going to use low just to see if there's a speed up. Okay, so this was much faster, just a minute or two before it was done. Also, I had the auto agent, so lessons learned along the way. Let us go back into this page and we'll refresh. I should probably just try and run this again, just to make sure we have the latest version. Okay. Let's refresh. Okay. So we'll move like this. We'll take this. We'll add tiles and look. Interesting. Adjacent means at least we can reach out. That's all right. That's not what I intended, but I will take it. We'll add more tiles. Interesting that it picked up the same ones too. Keep adding tiles. Okay, so there's something going on here with the logic. I want it to be around the edges, but OpenAI, ChatGPT, adjacent is correct here. But it's not fully random either. It's just going to keep expanding, and I wonder what happens if I just move it all the way to the back. I can do that. Okay. I think we have set out and done our objective here. Codex, shockingly good. This was the one shot, did it in one go. My experience, Gemini would not have been able to do that. Claude Code would have been toss up. In this case, we've only tried one toss up possibly, but I quite like how it turned out. We could keep going, of course, implementing an AI and moving and fixing the pieces. The other thing I wanted to fix is the 9 tiles, but I've seen enough to go. This, I think, won't work as I had hoped in moving people forward. I can see many problems now that I'm seeing it played out. So I'm going to stop here. And I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope you guys try the same thing. Keep building games because it's cheaper and easier to just figure this out rather than let it sit in your mind and go, would that have worked? I wonder. We'll try another project real soon in our next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.